I flipped hundreds and hundreds of cars in recent years, and the paperwork, the title, is the crucial part of every car transaction when buying or selling cars. And in this video, we're gonna cover exactly that, how to deal with the title of the vehicle when flipping cars for a profit without a dealer's license. Before we dive into this important topic, let me clarify a couple things. I'm not a dealer, I'm just a normal everyday guy just like yourself who loves cars and flips them occasionally, or I help other people, my clients, to buy cars for them or sell their cars, navigating every step of the car transaction. Secondly, what we're gonna cover in this video regarding the paperwork, the title applies in every single state in the US when buying and selling cars, with some minor differences which I will point out as we go into this topic. Flipping cars is a very popular activity that a lot of people across the country and the globe really find themselves doing, including myself, whether it's for fun, as a side hustle, or even a full-time gig. When I look for potential cars to buy, I constantly come across the resellers and flippers, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I encourage and teach people how to successfully make it happen, whether it's your first flip or you've been doing it for a while. But there is one thing that a lot of people do it wrong when it comes to flipping cars, and that is the paperwork side of things, the title, how to handle it. And most people do it illegally without even realizing it. So we're gonna cover two ways of how to handle the title without a dealer's license, just like myself. The first way is how not to do it, the illegal way. And secondly, how to properly do it without breaking the law. So the first method, called floating the title, or title jumping, or title skipping, and it is illegal practice where someone buys a car and resells it without having the title transferred to their name, effectively skipping an owner in the title history. You might be asking, why the heck it's illegal? Title jumping is illegal because it creates a gap in official title history, potentially leading to issues with registration, taxes, and liability. And as consequences, if title is jumped, the new buyer might face problems registering the car, dealing with unpaid fees or traffic violations, or even facing legal issues. And the reason for title jumping when you're flipping cars without having a dealer's license are pretty simple. You want to avoid some taxes, fees, some other expenses, and also it could be a lengthy process to do the paperwork, so you want to keep it pretty simple. And I understand that, but nonetheless, it makes it still illegal. And that brings us to the second method of how to deal with titles, this time properly without breaking the law. To avoid title jumping, title skipping, title floating, whatever you want to call it, all illegal, all you have to do this time to make it properly and legal, just title it.
What?
That's right, that's how I've been doing it, and it's been very successful personally for me. Now, you might be disappointed to hear that. What about the fees? What about the process and how long it takes and how complicated it is? It is not, and let me explain. Titling doesn't mean you actually registering the car. It means you're transferring the ownership. You're doing it according to the law. There is no skip in the ownership, and it is a very simple, easy, cheap, and fast process. When you do something in life, you always want to ask yourself, is it worth doing it? And if the answer is yes, then it's worth doing it for a while, for a long term. And title jumping or title skipping, whatever you want to call it, is not a long-term thinking. Eventually you will get caught, you will get into trouble, and that's the last thing I want for you. So here's what I mean by easy, fast, and cheap process, the title transfer. Now immediately in your mind, a legit question popped up. What about the limit, the annual limit that every state across the country has on how many cars per year you're actually allowed to sell? And that is why people are skipping the title, right? So it doesn't go under their name, so technically they're not breaking the law by not exceeding the limit, but they still breaking the law by not registering and putting their name in between the ownership on the specific car they're flipping. Now let's dig into a little deeper and uncover how we can go around that annual limits of cars we can sell per year, and I'll show how I do it. Depending on what state you're in, it could be a little more, it could be a little less. Nonetheless, there is a limit normally, except Oklahoma apparently has no limits, and that is kind of cool. But nonetheless, you have to verify, that is your homework to do, how many cars in your state you can sell legally under your name. You can call the local MVD or DMV officer. You can check on their website in your local state website, and that should give you an answer. Just follow the local guidelines and act accordingly so you don't have to get in trouble. And I'm gonna attach this useful table on the website below in the description. So you have some idea on the limit of cars you can sell per year in different states. But again, please verify. That link is in the description. Now we covered the limits. Now you know how many cars you can sell per year in your state, or you already knew that. But that doesn't make things easier, does it? I know it probably doesn't, but bear with me. I'll give you the solution that I personally use on how to expand your limit legally without breaking the law. But before we do that, let me cover the next fair point, and that is how expensive this paperwork could be when you're flipping cars and how long does it take. I'll tell you the secret. When people flip cars, they have no idea that there is a distinction and clear difference between registering and titling your car. When you're flipping cars, you have no intention of using these cars because you want to move them, you want to make a profit right away. So that means you don't have to register it. All you have to do is just transfer the title. That's it. When you're registering your cars, you're paying all those fees, you're getting the tabs, you're getting the license plate, you're making it roadworthy again. You're acting like you're gonna actually own the car and drive it. And if that's not your intention, not trying to use it, you wanna move it quickly and flip it, then just title it. And the titling process is very simple, fast, and cheap. It literally takes one piece of paperwork to transfer the ownership. All you have to do is just go to your local DMV or MVD, or maybe even to a third-party servicing company that provides those services, and apply for a new title. It is incredibly cheap and fast in many states. Here in Arizona, for instance, where I'm at, it literally costs $4. $4 to do the title paperwork. Why risk it? Why go and do something illegal like title jumping for $4? And it takes 3 to 5 business days to receive that title. Meanwhile, with the car that I just bought to flip, I can do some polishing, I can clean it up, maybe fix some mechanical issues, and next thing I know, I have the title. And in many states, it's actually a pretty fast process, as long as you're titling, not registering, which is exactly what you want when you're flipping cars. In some other states, it could be a little more money. It could be $50, it could be even $100, but it's not that much money when you're not risking and breaking the law. For instance, Washington State, where I used to live, is considered one of the most expensive states to do the car paperwork, including titling. But in Washington State, you can get a same-day title. So if the time is essence for you in your situation, then you can literally go and get the title the same day. And many other states actually offer that option. So again, why risk it? Why go illegal way when it's so easy, pretty cheap and fast, transfer the ownership and get it all done legally. With those points out of the way, now let's talk expansion of the annual limit of cars you can sell per year. That's where your cool, close, wonderful circle of friends and family come in very handy. Here's what I mean. You at least know 5, 6, maybe even 10 plus people in your circle that would be able to help you with flipping journey. All you have to do is just ask them to participate in a title process, meaning you title these cars that you're flipping under their name. So for every person, there is a annual limit, right? So if in your state the limit is 5, that means it is 5 for you alone. And if you have 5 friends that are willing to do that, now your limit expands to 30 cars. You and 5 other friends, or maybe some family members, or maybe even 3, 4 people. That still expands your limit dramatically. And all you have to do is just offer some kind of benefit. Just offer them a little bit of tip money here and there. $100, $200. They're actually going to be very happy to do so because they're making some money. Now there's even more benefits that come in very handy when you include your friends and family to participate in your flipping journey. Besides the fact that now you're expanding your limit, of course, you can sell per year and making money. Now your friends also making money, your family members also making money. That might not be a benefit for you, but it is, because now you're building a relationship, actual deeper relationship with friends and family, because now all of you making money And that always leads to more prosperous relationship between all of you. Simply because you have more touch points now to build a deeper relationship upon. And since your limit is expanding, that means more money opportunity coming your way. And once your friends and family see that you're doing it consistently, they might want to participate in a different ways. And that different ways would be a silent partner. They simply give you money. And now you don't have to go into every deal with your own money. You can leverage someone else's money. And I actually made step-by-step video on how to leverage someone else's money without ever using your own money if you wanted to do so. I'm gonna include that video in the description below. And another point I want to make, if you're actually selling consistently and successfully incredible amount of cars on weekly and monthly basis, then consider getting a dealer's license. It's not that hard. Turn it into a real business if that's what you want to do as a full-time job. To learn more about cars and how to monetize your passion for cars, consider joining my car community, where not only we share that same passion for cars, learning how to own cars for free and flipping them, but also building friendships with like-minded people. The link to that community is in the description. Please let me know if you have any questions regarding the paperwork or cars in general in the comment section. I'll see you in the next one. Godspeed.